Hello, dear students. How are you? I hope all are you in good health by the grace of Almighty. Today, I'm going to discuss a very important topic that is right form of verbs, especially the second part. In my previous class, I have discussed the first part. So today, I'm going to discuss about the uh, some of the important rules of the right form of verbs. And so I welcome you all in today's class. I am Shibasis Kumar Pal, Assistant Teacher English, Cantonment Public School and College, Saidpur. So let's begin. Today we will discuss right form of verbs part 2. Especially in this part, I will discuss with some of the important rules of the right form of verbs. So the first rule is the basic rule. So the basic rule is this: we must put the verb in any sentence according to the tense and subject of the sentence. We should use a singular verb with a singular subject and a plural verb with a plural subject. We have to find out the tense of the given sentence before putting any verb to correct the form of the verb we are putting on. So you see here, tense and subject. These two factors are very important in case of right form verbs. So the first rule, rule number 1, if there is given words like always, regularly, generally, often, daily, usually, normally, every day, etc. in any sentence, then the sentence must be in present indefinite tense. So by these words, always, regularly, generally, often, daily, usually, we can easily find out the tense of the sentence. For example, he always disturbed the class. The correct form of the verb will be he always disturbs the class. Rule number 2, if there is any given words like now, at this moment, right now, etc. in any sentence, then the sentence must be in present continuous tense. So by watching these words in any sentence, we can easily find out the sentence will be in present continuous tense. For example, he sing a song now. You see there is a now in the sentence, in the given sentence now. By watching this now, we can easily find out that this sentence will be in present continuous tense. So the correct form will be he is singing a song now. Rule number 3, if there is given words like just now, already, yet, ever, lately, recently, etc. in any sentence, then the sentence must be in present perfect tense. For example, I see him recently. You see in the given sentence there is a word recently. So by noticing this word, we can easily find out that this sentence must be in present perfect tense. So we should use the present perfect tense structure of the verb to correct the verb in the given sentence. I have seen him recently. So we have used here the present perfect tense. I have seen him recently. Rule number 4. If there is given words like had better, had rather, would better, let, must, need, dare, etc. in any sentence, then we have to use the present form of the verb. And if there is any to, keep that in your mind. If there is any to before the verb, we have to omit that to, that particular to. For example, you had better, in the bracket you can see to go home. In the bracket there is to go. So we have to omit this to. And in the according to the rule, had better, there is a had better in the sentence, so we have to use the present form. You had better go home. This will be the correct sentence. In rule number 5, normally in any sentence, if we have to put a verb just after a to, then we have to put the verb in a present form. So it's a very common rule. It's a very common thing that after to, there will be no changes of the verb. So the verb will be in the present form. For example, I have to in the bracket go there. So the correct form will be I have to go there. But there is an exception of this rule, of this very commonly used rule. What is that exception? That exception is that if there is given words like with a view to, look forward to, used to in any sentence, then we have to add ing form with the verb. So this is the exception. So in case of putting the verb after to, we have to see that whether there is only to or there are some phrases like with a view to, look forward to, or used to. So if these phrases are appeared in a sentence, then we have to put ing after the verb. I went to library. For example, I have written here, I went to library with a view to read some books. So the correct form will be like this. I went to library with a view to reading some books. You see, I have changed the verb read with reading. I went to library with a view to reading some books. Next, rule number 6. In this rule, if there is any given words like mind, ought, cannot help, would you mind, etc., or any kind of preposition in any sentence, we have to put the verb just after, and we have to put the verb just after those words or preposition, then we add ing with the verb. So the thing is that when there is mind, ought, cannot help, or would you mind in any sentence, and we have to put the verb just after these words, then we have to add ing with the verb. Another thing is that just after the preposition, if we have to put a verb, then we have to make it ing form. For example, he never thought of go Canada. You see the verb here in bracket, there is go. He never thought of, and of here is a preposition, and we have to put the verb just after the preposition. So what we have to do, we have to change the verb by using ing form. He never thought of going Canada. He never thought of going Canada. Rule number 7. If there is given words like yesterday, ago, long since, last night, last month, etc. in any sentence, then the sentence must be in past indefinite tense. So by noticing these words in any sentence, we can easily find out the sentence is in past indefinite tense. So we have to put the verb in a past form. He leave in the bracket, you can see there is a verb leave. He leave home yesterday. You see here is yesterday, and our rule is also saying that if there is words like yesterday, ago, or long since in any sentence, we have to put the verb in a past form. So he leave home yesterday. By noticing this yesterday, we can easily find out that this sentence is in past indefinite tense. So we have to change the verb leave into the past form, that is left, and the correct sentence will be like this. He left home yesterday. He left home yesterday. Rule number 8. Rule number 8 again is a very common rule. We all know this thing. After any be verb like am, is, are, was, were, etc., when we use any main verb, then we generally add ing with the verb. So it's a very common thing that after be verb, if we have to put any kind of verb, we have to use ing form of the verb, or we have to add ing after that verb to make it correct. For example, he is in bracket, you can say sing a song. So we can easily correct this sentence by writing in this way, he is singing a song. After be verb, there will be verb with a ing form. So there is an exception of this rule also. And what is that exception? If the given sentence is in passive voice, please keep that in your mind. If the given sentence is in passive voice, then we have to put past participle form of the main verb after the be verb. So generally what we do, generally we put ing form of the verb after the be verb. But if the sentence is in passive voice, then we have to put the past participle form of the verb after the be verb. For example, the book was still. By reading this sentence, the book was still, we can easily find out that the book cannot be still by itself. So it must be stolen by someone. So it's a passive voice sentence. So in the passive voiced sentence, we have to put the verb in a past participle form. So the correct sentence will be like this: the book was stolen. Not the book was still, the book was stolen. This will be the correct form. So you see this rule, be plus v plus ing, that means be verb, and then we have to put ing form of the main verb. This is a very common rule and we generally do this, but we have to keep that in our mind that when we are going to put the right form of verbs in any passage or in any fill in the blanks text, then we have to uh, keep that in our mind that whether the sentence is in passive voice or in active voice. So if the sentence is in a passive voice, then we have to put the past participle form of the verb after the be verb. Next, rule number 9. After any to have verb. What is the to have verb? We have already discussed this to have verb in our verb class. In that class, I have already told you that to have verbs, there are three verbs: have, has, or had. These three verbs are commonly known as to have verb. So after any to have verb, we generally use the past participle form of the main verb in any sentence. For example, he has, in the bracket, you can see here, give is the main verb, me a pen. So the correct sentence will be like this: uh, he has given me a pen. So there is a has, and we have to put the verb in a past participle form. He has given me a pen. Rule number 10. If there is given words like it is high time, it is time, wish, or fancy, etc. in any sentence, then we have to put the verb in past form. I can read the rule once again. That is, if there is given words like it is high time, it is time, wish, or fancy in any sentence, then we have to put the verb in the past form. For example, he fancy he turned pale. You see the verb in the bracket, that is turn. So, and there is a word fancy in this sentence. So according to the rule, the correct sentence will be like this: he fancy he turned pale. The verb will be in the past tense. I think these rules will help you a lot, because uh, these are some of the tricky rules uh, to find out the correct tense or correct subject. So in case of, if you can keep these rules in your mind, you can easily identify the sentence as tense, and according to the tense you can easily put the correct form of the verbs. So I think these tricky rules, but just by noticing some of the words in a sentence, you can easily find out the tenses of the sentence, and you can put the verb accordingly. So these rules are really helpful. I think it will really help you in case of doing the right form of verbs. So that's all for now. So thank you once again for watching this video. I hope it will really help you. So as you all know that the corona pandemic is going on, so please try to remain safe, keep your family members safe, stay fine, goodbye.